4 is all about group decision making, group attitude, group behavior of people, right? So according to the eShaw, a group consists of two or more persons who interact with each other consciously for the achievement of certain common objectives. The members of the group are mutually interdependent and they are aware that they are part of a group. Right. Another definition is a group is collection of two or more people who have a common goal and interest with each other to accomplish their goal and are aware of one another and perceive themselves to be part of the group, right? So this is the formal definition of a group. In simple words, you can understand when two or three people come together and they have certain purpose in their mind, right? They have certain goal in their mind, that is known as a group, right? Group can be formal, informal, and various other types as well. Like you have formed groups in your schools, in colleges. So there was certain goal in your mind. What was the goal for that informal group? What was the reason? Anyone? Either sometimes you want to say enjoy the friendship or enjoy the college life or school life, so that sense of belongingness and enjoyment you want to experience, that is the one of the reason that you form a certain kind of group or you become a part of certain group, right? Another reason might be you are preparing for certain exams, or maybe that group is also preparing for it. You or other students are also preparing for it. You make a common group, right? If you are preparing for say CA, others are two three people more are also preparing for CA. You might come together that we will do group studies, right? So there is common goal in it. Moreover, it two and three people are involved, and they are aware of each other, they know each other, as well as they uh, perceive themselves. Perceive means they have a viewpoint that they are the part of the group, right? Is the definition clear? Is the formal definition of a group clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now characteristics of a group can be derived from its definition itself. Interaction between two or more people, very clear from the definition itself. Awareness of each other, that they are aware about each other as well as they perceive themselves to be part of that group. Common objectives, they have certain common objectives in mind, whether it might be for enjoyment purpose, or for the study purpose, or for a particular goal purpose, right? Like we know that if the group is formed for a purpose, like so that you can get together, so that is a kind of your social needs you are trying to cater. So that has also a kind of goal in your mind, no? That you want to satisfy the social needs of the human being, right? Then another feature of a characteristic of a group is the common identity. Entire group is recognized by a common identity, right? Like there are formal groups and informal groups as well. Formal groups might be the departments or groups formed for a particular task, and they are identified by the entire identity of the group. Like say there is a sales team department, a sales group, right? So that sales group, consisting of various salesmen, will be identified with their group name, that is the sales team or a sales group, that is, right? So is it clear? Common identity and other characteristics. Common identity, we mean to say that the individual identities of the members of a group does not have much impact. Now your entire groups create a kind of identity. Generally it happens in your classes as well, that there is a group who are doing say some kind of government preparation, government exam preparation. They're always studying, so teacher will identify that that is the studious group, right? One group might be there that is not paying attention, or they are just bunking the classes. That can be identified as the consist of the people who are not serious about the studies. So we have just created a kind of identities for that particular group, right? So that is a characteristic of a group. Clear? Now, next is the types of groups. There might be on the basis of size. You can there is various types of groups, but for the examination purpose, you can just remember few of them. Like one of the ways you can define as the small group and a large group. Right, 2 3 people are there. Small group, more than say 10 or 15 people are there. You can have a large group. Even people are having unions or something. Their group is very large. Thousands of people are uh, part of it, right? Primary and secondary groups. Primary group is which is the major group, you can say, the main group, you can say, whereas secondary group is a kind of a supporting group for it, right? Like in the formal group you can differentiate it. Like there is a primary marketing group, but there is a sales support team as well, or a support group as well. So that is a secondary group, right? Sub part of that group just is for the support purpose, right? Clear primary and secondary groups. Like marketing department is a primary group, whereas the sales executives just dealing with the calls might be a secondary group. Clear? Is it clear? Then formal and informal groups. Formal groups are those which are formed um, by the authority of the organization. Written rules and regulations there, like the departments, the groups within the organization which are formed by the management itself. They are the formal groups, right? Like your class is a formal group created by the college itself, by the university itself, who will get which type of enrollment number and all. So that is created by the authority. That is a formal group. Informal group is which is not having certain kind of formal rules and regulations, or formal due to their existence is not due to any kind of uh, official decision making or anything, right? That is created just because of your own interactions, right? Like let's take example, maybe the bcom evening and bcom morning, some of the students are friends together. They have a group. They can they enjoy them their company, and they roam around themselves, right? So that is the informal group, right? Not created by the management or not created by the organization itself, right? Clear? Formal and informal group. Now there are few two types of formal groups as well. One is the command group. Command group is where there is some kind of hierarchy is there. Due to that hierarchy, that group is created, right? So there is proper hierarchy in it. There is a the top, you can say, departmental head. Then there is under that there are persons, and under that there are workers and salespersons. So there is hierarchy there. So that is a command group, right? Which is based on certain hierarchies. Whereas there are certain groups which are known as the task group, which are formed for a particular task, right? For a shorter period of time. Like one project is going on. For that project, you have a small task group whose purpose is to promote that project, right? So that is a task group for that period, right? After the project get over, that group might dissolve, right? So that is a task group. Is it clear? Like you are also having a task group. Sometimes you have a group presentation or something, so two or three have to come together and present. So that group is created as a task group only for that presentation, right? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, concept of group dynamics. So, group dynamics is consist of we will study in dynamics is the how the groups are formed, what are the structure of the groups, how people behave within the group. Like you can say the definition by Keith Davis, the social process by which people interact face to face in small group is called the group dynamics. In simple words, group dynamics is how the groups are formed, how people interact with each other within that group. So all these terminologies related to group, when we study that, the word we use for that is group dynamics, right? Group dynamics are concerned with the formation of the group, their structure and processes, and the way they affect individual members, other groups, and the organization. Right? Clear? Now we'll study one of the most important topic uh, in the group in the unit 4, that is the theories of group formation. These theories will tell you how the groups are formed, right? These are just based on the various psychiatrists and sociologists, how they studied that how people interact with each other and they form the group, right? First is the propinquity theory, which is also known as the proximity theory. A very simple way, like say first time when you will you might have come to the college, or whenever the college will start, or even in your school when you joined a new class or something. First time you join that class, you sit with certain people who are strangers to you, you talk to them, and from next time, because you got familiar with them, next time you might sit with them and you form a particular group, right? So the proximity theory is that nearness is the cause of the formation of the group. Majority of the cause of formation of group is the nearness, specifically the informal group, right? So you are say you are having a group in your college, three or four students are friends together, they hang out, they party and all, and they study together. So that group might be created because of the reason they meet on the first day, they were in proximity to each other, right? They sit together and ultimately that leads to formation of that group. So this is the most common reason for which the groups are formed, right? Generally someone who is studying in Mumbai is not able to be part of your group, whether you are able to make that person part of your group because of the distance. You can't create that person, or you can't have that person in your group. I'm not talking about the virtual groups now. Social medias also have certain virtual groups, but the thing is that most of the physical groups which are formed is due to the proximity approach, according to the first theory. Is it clear? Nearness, you are in proximity to each other, the chances of you creating a group is higher. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
In simple words, जो nearby है they generally form the group, right? Second theory of the group formation is the Homans theory, which is also known as the interaction theory. Interaction theory, when people interact with each other due to certain common activities or due to any of the reason, when they interact, if they have certain due to the more interactions, they develop certain kind of sentiments or emotions, due to which groups are formed, right? Like for example, uh, due to certain reason, you I have given four of you, like first four, Aditya Jain, and Aditya Verma. I have given four of you say presentations. Every weekly you have to present together. So might be you are interacting with each other so many times, that might lead to formation of a group, right? So the interactions, the more interactions you have, the more emotions you develop. Might be that is positive emotions of friendship and all, and that leads to formation of a group, right? So first theory was people form group because of the nearness to one another. Second theory is that people form groups because of the more they interact with each other, certainly they form the group, right? Might be in your schools as well, you might have experienced. I'm giving you examples of schools because of the reason, due to COVID, you are not having any kind of physical classes, so you can't experience the same thing in college for time being, right? So in schools there are some students who are not willing to interact with you. So those who are not interacting with you, certainly you can't make them friends, right? So interaction is the one of the reason for formation of group. जिससे ज़्यादा interaction हो रही है, जिससे ज़्यादा बात हो रही है, you form a group. Clear? Proximity and the interaction theory. Third theory is the balance theory. According to the balance theory, when two people interact, right, if they have certain common attitudes or common opinions towards anything, might be the work, authority, lifestyle, religion, politics, if they have common opinions, they certainly, the chances of forming a group is higher, right? Like for example, one of the you is interested in cricket, You find someone in your class itself who is also interested in cricket and IPL, and who is a even good player of cricket as well. So those two people have common interest in or common areas of interaction, right? Certainly they might form a group. That's why I was given the example that the people who are preparing for CA, so they have a common goal. They might form a group that let's have a group study or something. So common attitudes, common opinions might be the reason. People belonging to the same work group or same you can say religion or whatever the occasions might be, and if they have the common attitudes, common opinions, the chances of forming a group or creating a group is higher, right? Is it clear? Generally common interest की वजह से तुम लोगों की friendship होती है. Initial basis of the friendship or you can say formation of a group is just the common interest. Is it clear? So this is the balance theory. When there is a balance between the two persons' opinions and the attitudes, certainly they form a group. Contrasting attitudes होते हैं तो generally the chances of forming a group is very negligible, right? Clear?
Yes, sir.
You can't expect two people to form a group or three people to form a group when they are supporting different political parties and they are pro, you can say, supporters of this party. One is of Congress or one is of BJP and one is of Aam Aadmi party or something. So their interaction will never be fruitful or never form a group, right? So common opinions are required. Just for the example I have given, the politics, in various areas you require common. Fourth theory is the exchange theory. Exchange theory is a little bit of, you can say, uh, a selfish explanation of the formation of groups. Right? That people form groups or people join certain groups or made certain groups because they want something in exchange of their contribution to the group, right? Like for example, one of the just hypothetical examples I am giving, this is more because this is more selfish kind of the explanation of the formation of group. So no, I am pointing no one, but let's take for example, might be one of the student is willing to join a group or in your class which is very studious in nature, right? Because of the reason that person wants to get more exposure and more understanding of the concepts, and he also or she also becomes good in studies, right? Or might be that group is having the good reputation in the class. Teachers applause that group because they are studying and they are good in studies. So one of the persons might be willing to join that because that person also wants that same kind of the attention from the teachers, right? In this similar way, might be there is a group which is famous for bunking the classes or doing the uh, all the naughty things in the classes and all. So might be one of the people, one of the person wants to lead that group. He or she might try to sit aside from that group because due to that reputation of that group, his or her reputation is also impacted, right? So this is the exchange theory, that in return you need something or you uh, wants to something in return. That is why you are becoming a part of the group, that people come together because they want something in return, right? Is it clear? A little bit of the selfish try, but this is also kind of sociologist part, right? Human psychology works like this itself. Is it clear? Exchange theory, balance theory and exchange theory. So if you talk about the four theories of group formation, first is proximity, nearness. जो लोग पास पास रहेंगे या पास पास बैठ रहे हैं मिल रहे हैं, chances of forming a group is higher. होमोस थ्योरी और इंटरेक्शन थ्योरी इज कि जिससे ज़्यादा इंटरेक्शन हो रही है, सिर्फ पास रहने से बात नहीं चलेगी, जिससे ज़्यादा बात हो रही है उससे यू आर विलिंग यू द चांसेस ऑफ फॉर्मिंग ए ग्रुप इज हायर. Might be first day के अंदर you are sitting with 2-3 people but only 3 or 4 students were talking to you, so you might form group only with 3 or 4 students because others are not talking to you. The interaction is, the more you interact due to certain activities or due to certain reasons, the chances of forming a group is higher. Third uh, theory was balance theory. When there is common attitudes towards if you have common interests or common opinions regarding certain elements like work, lifestyle, or religion or anything, then the chances of forming a group is higher. It might be you are interested in a common game or common uh, you have common viewpoint regarding political parties or religion. So when there is something in common, the chances of forming a group is higher. Generally, you might have heard about that people living in foreign nations, generally the Indians have created certain kind of small groups because of the reason they have commonness together, some common reason to interact, that is the common ancestors, common country of origin, right? And fourth theory is that people wants to interact or they want to form groups or to be part of a group because of the reason they want something in return of it, right? If they think that whatever they're getting is useful, they will be part of that group. If they think that the return is not good, they will leave that group. Like I was giving the example that might be there is a group which has become very infamous in the class because of their uh, indisciplined actions. So that group's reputation is very bad. So someone who is in that group, that student might wants to leave that group because that is impacting his or her reputation as well. Every teacher is recognizing that person to be also indisciplined because of the reputation of that group, right? Is it clear? Is the formation theories clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next topic is also important, that is the stages of group formation. So these are the stages by which the groups are formed. First is the forming. First you form a group. Any of the reason might be there. The interaction, nearness, or exchange theory, common interest. So certainly you form a group. Then is this storming. Storming means when you start interacting with each other, when you on regular basis you trying to meet with each other, the people will come up with different opinions about different things, right? So there is a kind of storm of opinions, right? First day you were like, let's take the example of your class itself. So first day you come to the college, after the say whatever the physical classes start, you sit together. Due to the nearness you might form a particular group, but when you repeatedly interact with each other, might of be some of you might have different opinions with each other. So that is known as the storming. When you start interacting with each other and you encounter certain opposite opinions, right, regarding any of the issues or something, might be more of the people are interested in say bunking the classes, but you want to study, there is a contrasting opinion, so you might leave that group, right? So storming is the phase where uh, if whatever the adding addition or subtraction has to happen, it happens in the storming part, right? जब हम इंटरेक्ट करते हैं, हमारे ओपिनियंस डिफरेंट डिफरेंट आती हैं, अगर सब एडजस्ट कर जाते हैं तो यू विल रिमेन इन दैट ग्रुप, अदरवाइज सम ऑफ द पीपल विल leave that group or that group might disband at the storming stage, right? So if the group members survive the storming stage, right, when they leave the group, that is known as adjourning. That last part is written adjourning. That also comes after the storming as well, right? If the group is not able to uh, acknowledge all the contrasting views and all, or there is no consensus form, सबका common attitude नहीं आता, तो group might disband, otherwise it will be form a group. Then next is the norming. Norming is now rules and regulations are set for the group. This is particularly for the informal groups we are talking about. But do you think there are rules in informal groups? होते हैं rules? Tell me. Is there any rules, norms in the informal groups as well? You have friendship groups. Is there any norm? नहीं होते. or there is. See, norms does not mean it needed to be having a written norms or written rules, right? Norms can be unsaid or unwritten as well. They are just verbal in nature, right? Like you have a friendship group, but you have come together that every weekend we will meet and we will go to certain mall or a certain area to enjoy. That is also a norm or not? That every week you have to meet. If you're not able to meet one week, might be some of the group members might pinpoint you that you are not paying attention or you are not giving time to our friendship group, right or wrong? So there are norms in every group, whether it is formal or informal. You have a group, and most of you have decided that at least one day in a month we will bunk and watch a movie. This is also a kind of norm or not? If you join them for the movie, then you will be part of that group. Your bonding will become strong. Otherwise, if you don't follow them, you have to either leave that group or you will not be given much importance in that group. You have experienced these things or not? Schools में हुआ है ऐसा? Are you understanding the point, the norms I'm talking about, the informal groups? Are you able to relate it or not? Is the norming clear? Then only I can move forward further. In formal groups, there are norms in written way, written rules and regulation. But in informal groups also there are certain norms. They are unsaid. Like I was giving the example that you might have formed a group because of the reason you have common objective in your mind that you all must have to clear the CA. So you have also certain norms in your group. Okay, at least once a week we will have a group study session or not, right? Or we will discuss these points together. This chapter we will do together. So what is this? That is also kind of a rule or something, norm or something. That is not norm. We does not mean that that is a very strict rule, but that is something that you practice. Is the norming clear or not? Is norming clear? The next is the performing. Performing is at this stage the purpose for which the group has formed. That objective is to be performed or functioned, right? Just like let's take for example, you the people who are trying to clear the CA might form a group. Let's do group studies because we all want to clear the CA, right? So first is group is formed due to the common interest. Storming is when you started interacting with each other. Might be some of you might have different opinions. They might leave, or if they are able to accompany it, they will keep in that group, right? Third is they will have certain norms, like norms in the way unsaid, in the way that you might have the norms like every day we will study for 1 hour, 1 hour group study daily, right? Or on Sundays we will meet to discuss certain problems, say related to income tax or new topics in the CA examination, right? So this is norming. Performing is when you actually started studying together. Might be you realize that the studying together or a group study is very bad idea. You're not able to concentrate, right? Or you achieve your goal. Every one of you might clear the CA, right? So either you are able to perform for the purpose your group is made, or you are not able to. And on the basis of that, either your group remains intact or either your group adjourn. Adjourn means it disband, right? Is it clear? So this is the process of stages of group development of all kinds of groups. Is it clear or not? Any doubt, anyone?
No, sir, it's clear.
Like another example I can give is five of you formed a group that you want to enjoy the college life, right? The formation cause was the common objective was to enjoy the college life. Storming is sometimes you have different opinions with each other, but if you accompany that opinion, your group might be intact, 5 people will keep in that group. Norming is when you have certain rules. We have to enjoy the college life, so every weekend we will go for movie, or every month we will go for certain uh, out of station ride or something. That is norming. Performing is when you actually come together, you hang out and all. That is the performing stage, right? Maybe at the time of you are going for the movies and all, some of you might have different opinions, or some of you might join. Five miss only two person are able to join for the say hangouts and all. So ultimately at that stage you will realize that the objective of the group is not being fulfilled, right? Might be your group disband due to that reason. So this is the entire stages of the group. At the end it will adjourn if it is not able to perform for the reason, or remain for the reason or the goal for which it is being made, right? Five students who are come together, say, to enjoy the college life. If they're not meeting together on often occasion or something, your group might disform, disband. Is it clear? So this was all about the group.